Hi, I'm Travis Monson with Once Upon a Board Game, and I'm going to teach you how to play Finca. This is a fabulous game. In fact, this is probably one of my wife's all-time, maybe her very favorite game of all time. If not her very favorite, at least one of her very favorites of all time. This is a rule book from the original version. It was out of print for years and years and years, and it just recently got picked up for reprinting and republication by Pandasaurus Games. So the publisher would be, wouldn't be Hans and Gluck, it'd be Pandasaurus. The artwork on the cover is a little bit different. It goes to 5 players now instead of 4. There's they changed, one of the pieces of fruit in the game. It changed from olives to fish. Minor, just artistic differences, but the gameplay is the same. I talk during the video about the couple of differences, but let me explain how it plays and let me show you how it sets up and teach Finca. The original pieces, so there's going to be a little bit of different artwork. And one thing too, the newer game, it uses fish instead of the olives that this has. So instead of olives, you'll see fish in a newer version of the game. And again, it goes up to 5 players. The pieces might look a little different, but it plays the same. So I've got it set up for 2 players. One thing that you'll do is there's a whole bunch of these little fruit like delivery tiles. You'll make a big stack of them all, mix them all up, put 4 in each different of the 10 regions on the board. And then there's gonna be 2 that are left over. They just get discarded, they go back in the box. And then you'll flip over the top one of each stack, like I already did for some of them. Okay, so you'll see that there's 10 different stacks of 4 with the top one showing. There's also some of these little bonus tiles in each region. Each region has 1 bonus tile. You see those scattered around. You'll put these pieces out on the windmill, the different fruit tiles on the windmill, and there's little donkey cart tokens. So depending on the amount of players in the game, in a 2-player game, you use 4 of them. Similarly, you use 4 of these little Finca wooden tiles, or wooden tokens. This is what triggers the end of the game. When all of the Fincas in a game get placed on the board, game is over. Okay, so you use 4 of them in a 2-player game, and 4 donkey carts. In a 3-player game, you add 2 more donkey carts and 1 more Finca. In a 4-player game, you add 2 more donkey carts and another Finca, and then even in a 5-player game, you add more. It'll be in the newer updated rules, but you use more pieces with more players. Similarly, if you look, there's 18 of each fruit. So in a 2-player game, you're supposed to use 9 of each, and then the excess that you would just get rid of. So like in a 2-player game, you would take out 9 extra. You'd only have 9 of each type. If you're playing with 3 players, you'd only take out 5 of each type. So you'd have, the 13 of each kind, and so on. And then with 4 or more players, you would just use all of them. So I've just kind of got that set aside. So you see, you would add more for 3 or 4 players, and then and so on. Similarly, each player has a certain number of pieces. Again, in a 2-player game, you use all 5 of your pieces, but you use 4 in a 3-player or 3 in a 4 or 5-player game. So that's another one of those differences. In the newer rules, it also talks about like the advanced, like once you're more experienced, it has these little bonus tiles and these special power tiles. In our experience, it was just part of the original game way back when, so we've always played with them, so there's no reason not to. So I would go ahead and just play with those. As you can see, there's more pieces for additional players, and even up to a 5th player in the newer printing of this game. Okay, so once you've got the windmill populated with the appropriate number of donkey carts and little Finca tokens, and once you've got all the fruit delivery tiles and the bonus tiles on the board, you're pretty much set. You're almost ready to go. The last thing is, I think the new rules call it the initial harvest phase. And this is basically the putting of all of our initial farmers onto the windmill spaces. Okay, so starting with the start player, we'll say green's the start player. You can pick any spot, and for each placement, you just get exactly 1 fruit of that type. And you kind of maybe look at, what some of the fruits are that just kind of thinking ahead, planning in the game. Maybe that's some of the fruit you want to start with. So you see there's a couple of oranges out there. There's some lemons. There's some figs, some almonds. There's only one, there's only 1 olive and 1 grape so far. So maybe it'd be good to get, more lemons and oranges and figs, for instance. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take an orange. So I put a guy there, and I take exactly 1 of that fruit type. Then it goes to the other player. He says, I'll do something similar. Maybe I'll take a lemon. And so he takes a lemon. And then again, these in a 2-player game, these would all be off limits. Okay, green says, okay, well, maybe I'll take a fig. So they take a fig. Blue says, okay, well, I'll also take a fig. Green says, well, let me get a lemon. Blue says, okay, well, I'll take another lemon as well. Maybe they'll put it over here. No, yeah, they'll just leave it there. Green says, why not? I'll take an almond. And blue says, I will also take an almond. Green says, okay, I'll take maybe one more orange. And blue says, I'll take one more almond. That's just an example. You could take whatever you want. You may or may not be influenced by what's on the board. It's totally dependent on you. Okay, now the game's ready to start. And again, with more players, you would have fewer farmers, but everybody would be on the windmill to start. Now, on your turn, you have two options. You can either move on the windmill to take fruit, or you can make a delivery and deliver fruit. Okay, so let me explain the taking fruit option. This is a big crux of the game, is doing this well. Okay, so first of all, you see on the windmill, there's two spaces for each of the 6 types. Okay, whenever you move, and it's the green player's turn to go first. Whenever you move, you can pick any one of your pieces, and you would move that piece a number of spaces, and you always go clockwise. You never go counterclockwise. It's always clockwise. Okay, whenever you pick up a piece to move it, you move it a number of spaces equal to how many farmers are on that space at the moment. So if I were to move this guy, he is the only farmer on that space, so he would move 1 space. So if there's 2 farmers on that space, he would have to move 2 spaces. If there's 3, he would move 3 spaces, and so on. You always have to move that exact amount. You can never move more or less. Okay. Then, so you move a number of spaces equal to how many are on the place where he starts from, and the payout that you get is you get fruit of whatever space he lands on equal to how many people are on that space when he lands there. Okay, so I will just illustrate. That might sound confusing, but it's once you've done it once or twice, you totally get it. It's super simple. And mastering it is a little tricky. Sometimes people move right before you go and they screw up your turn and you get all mad at them. But for instance, maybe I say I want to move this guy. He is the lone person on this fruit, so as only one person there, he would move 1 space. He goes 1 space. When he moves here, there are now 3 people there. So now I get paid out 3 almonds. So 1 guy there, so he moves 1 space. He lands, there's 3 people there, I get 3 almonds. So that's how it works. Okay, so he gets paid out 3. One other important thing, and this is part of the reason why I did this movement, you'll notice kind of on the equator, so to speak, of the windmill, right across the middle, you see that little circle with a little donkey. Anytime you move a person that crosses that line, that's when you get to earn a donkey token. Okay, as long as if you move down here, nothing happens, but when you cross that line right here, or when you cross this line right here, you earn a donkey token. Okay, so that was the green player's turn. And so now the blue player says, okay, well, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll say, I will move, there's 3 people here. So he would move a guy 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. He lands here. He would get, there's 2 people there. He would get 2 figs. So again, 3 people, he has to move 3 spaces. There's 2 people there. He gets 2 figs. So he'll take 2 figs. He did not cross a donkey, so he gets no donkey token. Okay. Now maybe green says, well, maybe I want 2 lemons. So they move 1 space. They land where there's 2 people, so they get 2 lemons. So they get 2 lemons. Okay. Blue says, okay, well, let me get this. Let me double down on the lemon payout here. There's 2 people here. He moves 2 spaces. Now there's 3 people. He gets 3 lemons. Okay. You can quickly see the lemons are about to run out. This is an important part of the game. Okay. Anytime that you are supposed to take a resource and there's not enough. Okay. Let's just say, for instance, blue is right there. Okay. If he were to move, being a lone person there, he would move 1 space. When he lands there, he would earn 3 lemons. There's only 1 lemon that remains in a 2-player game, right? Anytime there is not enough to pay out, and this applies to all the fruit, it also applies to the donkey tokens. Okay, you could also run out of donkey tokens. This same effect goes into place for fruit or for donkey tokens. Okay, anytime that there's not enough to pay out, in this case, there's not enough to pay out the 3 lemons, everyone at the table, the active player included, they have to put back all of their fruit of that type. And then the person gets paid out. So then blue would get their 3 lemons, right? So it may actually end up hurting you more than it hurts the other player, or maybe hurt you just as much, either or, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. So if someone is hoarding fruit and you want to kind of stick it to them before they can make a delivery, you can try and get more of that fruit to take it. So obviously that didn't happen because when blue moved there, he took it. There is still 1 left, but that is what would happen. If there's not enough, everyone loses all of it, and then you pay out to the active player. Okay, that's an important rule for the fruit. And also, if the donkey tokens are gone and somebody moves across that little donkey line and there's no donkeys, we all put back all of our donkey tokens and then we get paid out. So that's a really important rule to remember. Okay, all right. So I've kind of shown a couple illustrations of how to get fruit. Okay, now I'll illustrate. So maybe for the green player, instead of getting more fruit, he wants to make a quick delivery. So he's looking around, and whenever you make a delivery, oh, let's see here. Is there something else he could do? He's missing one of those. You know what? He will do one other thing first, and I'll show you why in a minute. So blue just moved and got the lemons. Green will go here and take a single olive, right? There was 1 person, so he moved 1 space. He's the only person there. He gets 1 thing, right? So sometimes those are the moves. They're not very exciting, but it happens. Then it comes back to blue. Blue's thinking, you know what? I can't make any deliveries until I can get somebody across this line. So maybe I'll move somebody, get them a little bit closer. So they'll say, you know what? And also I don't want to let green come in here and cash out on a whole bunch of lemons. So I'll move one of these guys. So there's 3 people there. He moves 3 spaces. He also gets a single olive. Okay. Now it's the green player's turn again. He says, okay, now I'm ready to make a delivery. Whenever you make a delivery, you have to have a donkey cart token to spend, okay? And then you can make a delivery of 6 total pieces of fruit. You can go to multiple regions as long as you deliver no more than 6 pieces of fruit. So for instance, I could say, you know what? I could do this and this. I'll illustrate. I've got exactly 3 lemons. You see this tile wants 3 lemons and 2 oranges. If you see that, there's 3 different lemons and 2 different orange bunches. And then also right here, so I would actually pay those back to the bank. So the 3 lemons and the 2 oranges, and then also 1 olive. So that lone olive that I just got, he can do that. You see, I delivered 5 fruit here and 1 fruit here. That's the total of 6. That's the limit you can do on a single delivery, is 6 pieces of fruit. Okay, and you put them down, and of course that cost a donkey cart token. Okay, so again, I could have taken a 1 and a 2 and a 3, or maybe just a single 6, or maybe 2 3s. You can do whatever combination you want as long as it does not exceed 6 is the limit for a single delivery. Okay, and even if you deliver to multiple regions, it still just costs 1 donkey token. Okay, so that's an example of a delivery. So now any tokens that you took at the end of your turn, whoops, the next ones are flipped over. Okay, and then it's back to the blue player's turn. And they're thinking, okay, well, I'll do maybe another example of a delivery. Let's say, except they can't deliver yet because they have no donkey token. That's right. That's what I was working towards. So they say, you know what? I will go here. He's the lone person on this space. So he moves 1 space. He lands where there's 2. So he gets 2 oranges. And he crossed that little line. So he gets a donkey cart token. Okay, now it's back to green. Green says, I could move 2 and land there and get 2 olives, or I could move him in 1 space and get 1 almond, or I could move one of these guys 2 spaces and get 2 almonds and a donkey token. I'm thinking, oh, there's a 2 almond delivery. Maybe that's a good idea. So I will move him 2 spaces because there was 2 people there. He lands here where there's 2. I get 2 almonds. And again, we're just about to run out of almonds, so we got to be wary of the almond monopoly of having to lose it all. And again, I cross that line, so he gets a donkey token as well. Now it's back to the blue player. He says, I'm going to also make a delivery. And here's another example. So sometimes you'll see in the game, there's these ones that just have a question mark, okay? These tiles, there's some that have 4 or 5 or 6, as you can see with a question mark. And what that means is you can deliver whatever kind of fruit you want, but they all have to be the same type. So a 5 of a kind or a 6 of a kind. That's how those ones work. Or a 4 of a kind for those other tiles that are in the game. So he says, you know what? Maybe I will make a 5 of a kind delivery here with 5 lemons. And I will make a single orange delivery here with a single orange. So once again, he delivered 6 pieces of fruit, a 1 and a 5. So he can put those back to the supply. And of course that cost him a donkey. And he made his delivery, so he ends his turn by flipping over the next tiles. And he's thinking, wow, I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got 6 almonds, and the almonds are almost gone. So if he were to land on an almond, you know, I'd have to lose them all. So he's thinking maybe I should spend those right now. So I'll spend my donkey token, and I can do this one right here. So 6 of a kind. I've got 6 almond tokens. So that was my 6 pieces of fruit delivery. Okay. So he's almost wiped out. He's got a single fig left. They almost look like little little turds. We joke about that sometimes. Anyway, he ends his turn by flipping this over. So here's a different one. This delivery would require 1 of each of the 6 fruit types. Okay. They're all pretty self-explanatory. As you look, you can see pretty easily what it means. Okay. Now I want to start illustrating a couple of these other things because there's also these special power tiles. Okay. Everybody starts the game with 4 of them. Let me just briefly describe what they do, and then I'll show how it would work just as a for example. Okay. Now also I want to mention, like I said, in the newer version of the game, the new rules, this is listed as one of those kind of advanced variants, to play once you're experienced, but we've never played without them, and they're really easy to use, so I would recommend just including them in the game from the beginning. So yeah, let me talk about these special power tokens. You'll see there's a little bit more fruit. I sped up, I took a couple extra turns just to so I can better illustrate what some of these things do. Okay, let me just show each of these. This one right here, I think they call it like the gust of wind. I'm not going to get into what the actual official names are in the new rule book. But what this one lets you do is you see your person and you see 2 windmill tiles in the picture. What that means is you get a double turn on the windmill. So if I want to spend this, I could take successive back-to-back turns without the other player going to kind of mess up where I want to go. And each move you would do it just the way it's supposed to be done, but you'd get the payout each time. Like maybe, for instance, I haven't even thought this through, but maybe I want to move this guy. There's 2 people here. He moves 2 spaces. He lands where there's 2. He gets 2 grapes. And then immediately, before anybody else can go, I get to go again. Maybe I'll move that same guy. There's 2 people here. He moves 2 spaces. Now he gets 3 oranges because there's 3 people where he landed. And he crossed the line, so he gets a donkey cart. So he gets 3 oranges. So that's an example of doing that double turn. Okay, you get 2 back-to-back turns before anybody else goes. Because sometimes you're trying to set up that really good move, and somebody else moves right before you do, and you're like, oh, that screwed it up. Now I have to move 4 spaces instead of just 3, or whatever it may be. So that's how that one works. This one, it's also has to do with moving on the windmill, but you just take a single turn and you actually pick up your piece and you just set it exactly where you want them to be. You don't move around clockwise, you just pick them up and put them somewhere. But because you haven't moved around past the donkey tokens, no matter where you go, you do not get a donkey cart for doing that. You just, like, I could, for instance, pick this guy up and put him right there to get 4 oranges. That could be an example of what to do for that. You can just pick somebody up and put them wherever you want and get the payout, but no donkey carts the turn that you use this. Okay? This one is an example of an enhanced, like, super delivery. So you see it has a picture of a donkey cart. So this token counts as if it was its own donkey cart. So the turn that I spend this, I do not have to spend this as well. This is a donkey cart, so I can save my donkey carts. In addition, you can see it says max 10. Okay, so the turn that I spend this, instead of just 6 fruit, I can deliver 10 pieces of fruit. So I can make a bigger delivery. So it counts as a donkey cart, and I can deliver 10 pieces of fruit. And then finally, this one here, this says it's a one-time use of -1 fruit delivery. Okay, so what that means is I can make a delivery lacking 1 piece of fruit. Let me further explain. In other words, for instance, let's say I wanted to make this delivery, but as you can see right here, I've got the oranges, the lemons, the figs, the almonds, the grapes. I don't have any olives. I could still make a delivery. I could spend a donkey cart and spend this token, and I can deliver this even though I'm missing 1 thing. I would just spend 5 out of the 6 pieces of fruit. Make sense? Another thing you could do with this, another way to maybe use it a little bit more powerfully, is maybe I could do a delivery like this, okay? In essence, now you see I'm delivering a total of 7, but it's because I'm missing 1 thing, okay? The one caveat to this is you cannot claim a number 1 token for free without paying. But I could pay a lemon for this and the lemon and the other pieces like I just talked about, and I could be missing the olive, you know, so I could deliver the 1 of everything else like that. You know, so there's 5 of the 6 for this one, and there's that one. So I delivered 6 pieces of fruit, and oh, by the way, I'm missing 1, so I can complete that delivery. Does that make sense? So that's how you could use this kind of token. You can either just make a delivery even though you're missing a piece, or you can make an even more powerful delivery even though you're just missing 1 piece, okay? So maybe I'll do that on his next turn because he just moved twice, and it's Blue's turn. So that's something to think about, okay? So now Blue, so Allie. I'm going to illustrate maybe this donkey cart, right? She's got a whole bunch of fruit, so maybe she wants to do a big super delivery. So maybe she says, you know what? I do want to make this 6 because I have 1 of everything. I've got the orange, the lemon, the grape, the fig, the olive, and the almond. So there's all 6. So I can deliver those. You know, just throw those. I'll just throw them. I don't need to keep it all sorted. So there's those 6, and he can deliver still, not just 6, but I can do 10. So I can still do 4 more pieces of fruit. So what can I still do? What's out there? Well, let's see. There's 2 figs. I don't have any more grapes or lemons. I can't do that. There's 2 almonds. I only have 1. You know what? I can further illustrate what I was just talking about. I can do maybe this and this. No, this one. Where was it? Oh, dang it. Filming live, you gotta love it when it doesn't quite work out the way you want. Let's pretend this was 3 oranges. This is the 3 oranges, all right? So now the person has already delivered 6 of the 10 because it's a max 10 donkey cart delivery. Now they say, you know what? I wanna do this and this. Remember, we're gonna say, sorry, let's pretend this was oranges. So let's say this was a 2 orange delivery. Okay, so there's the 2 oranges and 2 out of the 3 figs. So I've delivered 10 pieces of fruit, the 6 I just did plus 4 more, that's 10. And oh, by the way, I can spend this as well. You can spend multiple tokens on the same turn, okay? That is legal, you can do that. So I spent a super delivery for 10, but I actually delivered 11 fruit worth, even though I was missing 1, right? So I was missing the 1, so I could do that. Again, if I had more figs, I was pretending these were oranges, but you get the gist. But now, so this person just made this awesome turn, and now they've got all these tokens here. So that's the special power tokens. Again, a double move on the windmill like I just saw, or just pick it up and put it right where you want, or a big super delivery like Allie just did, and even missing a piece of fruit. Allie just illustrated both of those, how that works, okay? Now I wanna talk about these other bonus tiles. This is, again, in the rule book for this new printing of the game. It says this, along with these special power tokens, is one of those advanced variants, but again, we've always used them. We've never had a problem. And this, you can see, this tile has a 7 in the middle. I wanna point this out. So the numbers on all of them, it not only tells you how many fruit you need to deliver, that also illustrates how many points it's worth at the end of the game, okay? So this is worth 6 points and 5 and so on. So you see this bonus tile has a 7. It's worth 7 points for whoever gets this. There's other bonus tiles, but they decrease in value. There's a 6, and then a 5, and then a 4, okay? And what this bonus tile means is the first person who can make a delivery of all 6 different valued fruit tiles, okay? The first person to do that can claim this tile and get 7 bonus points. So you see that turn that Allie just took was especially beneficial because she just got a 6 and a 3 and a 2. So now she has a 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So if she just gets a delivery of a value 4 fruit, she'll have all 6 and she'll be able to claim this and get more bonus points. So again, this is one of those things, there's no reason not to use it because we've always played with it. And so it just gives you another thing to think about in terms of your strategy. So that was Allie's turn. She made a super delivery, scored a whole bunch of points. Now it's back to me. I've got a ton of fruit. I've got a couple of donkey carts. Oh, before Allie's turn ended, we should flip these over, right? To see what's coming next. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, she did what I was gonna do. I was gonna make that 6 delivery. So what else could I do? I've got some lemons. Again, there's no 4s out there. So none of us, I'm also missing a 2 and a 3 and the 4 towards getting that. So maybe I wanna get, see if there's some 2s and 3s that I can get. There's 3, I don't have any olives. There's 3 almonds, I could do that. So there's a 3 there. There's 3 lemons, I'm 1 short of that. There's a single fig or a single lemon, I could do one of those. So maybe I'll do one of these things like Allie did. I'll spend a donkey cart with 1 piece missing. So I'll do a further illustration of what I was just talking about. Okay, so with this delivery, I will do these 3 almonds and these, oh, did I already pick it up? No, I didn't. Okay. This one and this one. Okay, so I will do this as an example. Okay, so 3 almonds, there's those. 3 lemons, well, there's 2 of them, and there's the fig. So you see, I delivered 6 pieces of fruit with a donkey cart. Okay, that's legal. I have 1 piece that I'm missing. That's the 3rd piece that I'm missing. So I can also satisfy this demand with this bonus tile. So I can use these pieces of fruit to make these 3 deliveries as well. Kind of similar to what Allie did, but just with some other ones. So now I have multiple number 1s. I've got a couple of 3s. I'm missing 2s and 4s towards getting that bonus. But that's another example of making one of those big deliveries. That wasn't even a super delivery. That was just a regular delivery. Okay. And it goes, goes back and forth like that continuously. Now, eventually we get to the point where, look at this. Here's one of those elusive value 4 tiles. Maybe Allie really wants to start going towards that. So to do so, she really needs lemons. So maybe this is an example of spending this. She says, you know what? I really want a couple of lemons because I've already got the olives. So she says, you know what? I will spend this to pick up my guy and move him directly where I want. So I'll say, I'm going to just pick him up and move him directly to there. So there's 2 people there. She gets 2 lemons. Boom. That's her turn. She used the special power. It's back to me. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Let's just say it was Allie's turn again. Okay. She's going to spend that donkey cart. She's going to spend those 2 lemons and 2 olives that she just got. And she'll claim this tile right here. So sometimes you will, even though she delivered only 4 pieces of fruit instead of 6, maybe it seems like it was a less valuable turn, but she wanted to do this before this went away because now she's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and she can claim this bonus for having all 6 value tiles. Okay, so sometimes you jump on it even though you're delivering less than you're able just to get one of those. So her turn would end, it would come to this. And now we're getting close to one of these things being gone. So let's just say theoretically that tile Allie took, let's just say that was the last one there. Okay, so she bought that tile and it emptied this region. Okay, so now 2 important things happen. First and foremost, we're gonna put a little finca, one of these little wooden fincas there. And that's just, again, this is the trigger for the end of the game. When all of these get placed, game over. It just instantly ends. You don't finish a round or have equal number of turns, it just ends. So you can keep an eye on how close you're getting to the end of the game. So there's 3 more still left. So you place a finca when a region is gone, but also before you even do that, there's a bonus tile. So you see there's a tile that's worth 5 bonus points for whoever can earn it. And you see there's 1 in each of the regions, okay? The bonus tile tells you that the person who earns this is gonna get 5 bonus points for having delivered the most of that kind of fruit. So in this case, the person who you add the sum total of grapes and oranges that they have delivered. Whoever has the highest sum total of those 2 kind of fruits would get that bonus. This one, for instance, would be whoever has delivered the most oranges would get that bonus. This one would be the person who has delivered the most of those wild mark, question mark tiles. I think in the new version, it's just, it has a donkey on it, and it's whoever has the most total deliveries so far. You add up all the deliveries, okay? But you can see there's these little bonus tiles that are gonna get awarded. So this is something to think about. As you see these stacks of fruit delivery tiles start diminishing and dwindling, where there's maybe only 1 or 2 left, you can see what the bonus is going to be. And so like you can see, oh wow, this stack is almost gone. I know that lemons are about to be delivered, or lemons are about to be awarded. I better, I've got a lot of lemons, so maybe I'm sitting pretty. Or maybe, oh wow, I really need to get more of that kind of fruit so that I can compete better to get that bonus. Right? So that's something to think about as you see that you're getting close to those, to the stack being gone. So in this case, we would look at grapes and oranges. So I have 1, 2 oranges and no grapes. So my sum total is 2. Allie's looking, she's got 1 orange and 1 grape and 1 orange. So she's got 3. So Allie has 3 to my 2. She would claim this bonus tile, and again, we'd put the Finca there, and then we would continue with, with the next person's turn. That was Allie's turn, so it'd be my turn, and we'd keep going. So that's how it works. And again, it could happen maybe later on in the game. Maybe we've already cleared out a little bit more of the board. We've already played some Fincas. Maybe I got a bonus and she got another bonus, whatever. And maybe now we're getting close to the end, and maybe on Allie's turn, maybe she did a delivery where, she cleared out 2 regions. So 2 regions got emptied, but there's only 1 Finca left, okay? It doesn't matter. We know first and foremost that the game is gonna end because the last Finca will be placed, okay? It doesn't matter that the last one doesn't have a Finca. As long as there's at least that many, it's over. Before the game ends, you would award both of those bonuses. And then you would add up total points to see who wins. So it has to be just at least the number of empty regions based on the player count, how many Fincas you're using. Again, you would use more in a 3 or 4 or even a 5-player game. And then you would award the bonus tiles, and then you'd add up points for the end of the game. Once again, these special power tiles, in the original rule book, it says that if you have some of these left over that you have not used, they're worth 2 points apiece. Okay, so you're kind of incentivized to maybe save them. Whereas in the new rule book, it talks about how it's just one of these, advanced variants. So I don't remember if it actually says they're worth points or not, but I would recommend counting them as a couple of points each. It makes it more interesting. So if it ended right now and it looked like this, Allie's gonna win. She's got bonuses, but we did this illegally. I want to point that out. But for instance, I'd say, hey, I got 2 bonus tiles I haven't used. That's 4 points, 2 and 2. 4 and 6 is 10. And then another 5 and 5 is 10. So there's 20, 23, 26, 27, 28. So my score would be 28. So then you see Allie's gonna have more than that. There's already a 7, that's already a 10. There's 10. There's 10. We threw a bunch of stuff on her. She didn't really earn those tiles. Just, just a little caveat there. But anyway, that's how you play. Again, you use more or less resources, fruit and donkey carts and Fincas and even workers, depending on the player count. So it scales really well. But that's how it works. You set it up, and it's either a movement turn to get the fruit and possibly donkey carts, or you make a delivery. And so it's simple back and forth. You spend a couple times earning stuff, and then you make a turn, delivering stuff, and kind of go back and forth, trying to get those bonuses, trying to prep yourself to get those region bonuses when a region gets emptied, and just some of the things you're thinking about during the course of the game. But it's a great, slick, really fun game. So yeah, that was Finca. As you can see, I know that I just kind of assigned the tiles at the end, and she didn't really earn them. But you see that Allie would have won again if that was truly a score. I'm sensing a theme on some of these videos I'm making. But again, Finca, as I said at the beginning, this is the rule book from the original, and it is new artwork, new publisher, new printing of it. But really, the gameplay is exactly the same, with the one exception that it goes to 5 players now instead of just 4, which could be a beneficial thing for you and your family. But this is just one of those games that it came out, I think, in 2008, 2009. So, a long time ago, 15 years ago, roughly. And it's timeless. It is, we always have fun playing it. We always have fun whenever we teach it to somebody else. They really enjoy it. For a long time, we've been reluctant to teach it because it was out of print and people couldn't get it. We didn't want them to fall in love with a game that they couldn't get. So the fact that it's back in print now is great. So this is going to be more widely available now. This is one of those games that it's quick. You see, like when you clear out the 4 or 5 or 6 regions, depending on the player count, that triggers the end of the game, and it happens a lot quicker than you'd think. And so the games are quick, and it's a game of very tactical decisions because you're constantly moving on the windmill, and the situation is very fluid and it changes. Sometimes you'd be maybe prepping for that big move, but right before you can move, somebody else moves, and so it throws out the dynamic of where you'd move and how many fruit you'd get. So it's always fun trying to puzzle that together and puzzle the when do I get more fruit versus when do I make a delivery. If I wait too long collecting fruit, somebody else is going to make that delivery and take the tile that I want. So it has a lot of great back and forth, and it's fabulous. This is one of those ones. I made the Alhambra how to play video a while ago, and my kids always joke that this is one of those play games where they were meant to be played. We vacationed in Mallorca a couple of years ago for Thanksgiving week. We're kind of lucky because we live here in Germany at the time, but this game, it's set in Mallorca. That's where the setting, the island is the island of Mallorca, if you look at the game board. And so you better believe I brought this game with us on vacation, and we played Finca in Mallorca. So that was fun. That was fun for me. And yeah, my kids and my wife kind of laugh at me, but I think it's great. But anyway, this is Finca. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully it kind of teaches you how to play and makes you comfortable with picking it up and learning it yourself or playing it yourself. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If there's something else, another game you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it, and thanks again for watching. Travis Monson with Once Upon a Board Game. Thanks.